Hello you guys, welcome back. Today we're just going to be expanding on our city. We have a lot of space, and pretty much the basics of the game afterwards, once you get your city started, is to expand. And that's what it's all about really, is expansion and making your city grow and develop. The rule of thumb that I like to use is to keep the path of your old roads. So all your old roads here, extend off of them. Don't start new roads that have odd turns in them. It's not really efficient to do it that way. Build off your old roads. In this case here, this road cuts off this power line, but really the game has paused, so it has no effect on the citizens, but just for looks, I'm just going to put a power line here, just so that, it just doesn't look all red. But going back to the issue, I was going to say, yeah, it's better to keep continuing your roads instead of starting new ones, and, things just flow better when roads are in straight lines. So now we go from the industry side and we continue on, and now you could kind of see we form kind of a grid here. This takes the basic structure of your new developed area. In this case down here, there is a rail crossing, which is why I put that little bridge there so that road could go under. In this case, there's a power plant, but we're still going to continue the road on the other side of the power plant. Someday should we demolish that power plant and let's say, we could build a road there because we've continued it on. So now we go to zoning. So pretty much just like you did in the first video, you can just zone however you like. I like to make sure everything's, neat and square. But there's a few roads down here, or my bad, I should say streets, that are bothering me. So I'm just going to actually just demolish them. And I think we're actually going to turn this little area right here into commercial anyways. So we're going to dezone, which if you guys know what the dezoning tool is for, is to take away the zones in the streets. And then we're going to stretch our commercial zone. Again, I'm looking for a good street layout. And this looks like it'll suit us just well. Now let's see. Okay, I think we build an elementary school here. Now, of course, for a residential, elementary school is mandatory for proper development and growth. High schools and the other libraries and other stuff, that can come later when you have more funds. And just ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and build one here. Now notice I'm overlapping the bus zones. This is okay. You don't have to get it perfectly so that each school has its own district. It's not all about that. The schools are pretty cheap themselves, and you can adjust the bus range inside the query itself. So now once we demolish this, those power lines are going to disappear. Another kind of little note that you should take, that power flows through zones, and you don't require power lines through zones. Power flows through zones. Again, like we did before, we're going to put our little commercial district here, so, commerce spreads. And let's see, what do we do next? Sorry about that. I'm trying to think of what I did next because, this is not over narration. Oh yeah, we're straightening out the roads here. Due to the zoning problems, some of the roads did not come out very straight, so now I'm putting kind of a backbone kind of road structure here, you see? And then I placed my industry. I think I demolished that little street down there. Otherwise, the roads are kind of like doubled up and they become redundant, and it doesn't look very well. Again, here as you can see, the power lines, watch them disappear as I place the zone. Again, power flows through zones. That's the #1 new novice tip. If you're playing the game, power flows through zones. Okay, now we're just going to finish zoning this off. And now that your city is this big, unfortunately we have to do so, but we have to place a landfill here. So go ahead, take your little dezoning tool and dezone a small area about this size. For this size of city, this will do just fine. Go ahead and go to your utilities, which I have trouble finding. Okay, utilities. Select the landfill zone, and we'll make sure that you have a empty zot filled. And then you can just simply zone it like you would any other zone. Now, the thing about a landfill is that once it is fully developed and full of garbage, it's almost impossible to remove. So zone wisely, because once your landfill is placed, it's pretty much there forever. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill these streets out with roads because I don't want traffic problems. I can already see traffic problems. Here we're adjusting our power plant. You can take your query tool and click on your power plant and you can adjust the funding. We're going to go max because as you see we have a full city and we're going to need a lot of power. So here's what it looks like before. Is you go ahead and hit the cheetah button and you can see just how fast it develops. This is very good if your city develops this fast because it means that all your services have been balanced properly, and as you can see we already have a huge city. I mean, you guys remembered if you watched the first video how small it started out, just as a little town, and now it's a good moderate sized city. Now for the public's sake we're going to go ahead and put down some police stations. Now for this city the large police station is just a little bit too small. I usually like to fill it up if I can, and if I can't I'll use 4 smaller stations. So we're just going to put 4 stations in 4 quadrants as I'm doing here, and then you'll see we have equal coverage. Now there's a little spot in the center that we could cover with a police station, but that would be a little redundant. So we're going to go ahead and use a little police kiosk here, which does the job just perfectly. And if we look on our map, we'll actually see that we have equal coverage from all stations. Pretty neat, huh? That's kind of the way I like to do it. It looks neat, and you know, it provides equal coverage. You know, that's how it works. And if we looked at our crime data, we'd see that the crime would be pretty low, especially with as well coverage as we have from all 5 stations here. Now we just kind of sit back, relax, and just watch your city develop because it's there. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so now I'm just using my route query here, and I'm just checking pretty much the usage of the railways, such as the elevated rail and the subway. Just want to see how well it's being used now. Because in the next video, I'm going to be further connecting these networks together. I think I'm going to use bus, maybe, the bus network. That, or I could use monorail, but monorail would be a little expensive and require a lot of demolishing. I could either do that or extend the subway network, but really it's your choice because that's what this game is all about. But either way, I think I'm going to go with bus because it's simple, it's much cheaper than subway, and it's probably what you would use to start out your city. I doubt that you'd use subway right in the beginning just because of how expensive it is. So, just to wrap it up, you know, this is my city so far, and, you know, thank you guys for watching. Expect some more videos coming out soon. Alright, y'all. Peace out.